Okay, hi parents. I am Ms. Coble, and I am just going to be sharing a little bit about the writing and technology that your student will be using in our classroom. So, as you know, they're going to be third graders, so we're introducing some new things. Might be a little tricky for them, but we're going to do our best to help them through it. So, to get started, your students will be learning about the stages of writing. So in the stages of writing, we have our pre-literate stage. Um, your students are probably mostly past this part, but in the pre-literate stage, they're kind of scribbling, they're giving directional scribbles from left to right, which your students are probably past that point mostly. Some of them are not, and it's totally fine. We're going to work on getting them to the next stage. So I'm going to also email you guys this PowerPoint if you want to go look through it or whatever. I can share it with you so that you guys always have this and can look back on it. Next, we have the emergent stage, which is where students are stringing letters together and making groups of letters. Mostly your students are probably past this. They're labeling pictures and creating environmental print. Some of them are probably right about this stage. If not, they're above it. It's totally fine either way. The next stage is the transitional stage. The students have letter and word recognition. The students have first/last letter representation and medial letter sounds. So that's a transitional stage. And then we have emergent stage, which is the beginning phase of writing. Sentence writing and sixth trait writing. So sentence writing is like they will be making sentences, and they will also be learning about simple, compound, and complex sentences in third grade. I know that last year was cut short in second grade, so we're really going to be hitting that hard this year, getting your students able to write complete sentences. And then the six traits of writing, that is just how we will grade your student if they have good word choice and fluency in their writing and their spelling and all of that good stuff. So this is a good stage for your student to be at when they leave, when they enter and then leave third grade. They will be able to hopefully master this stuff. So next we have the elements of a writing workshop. This is something that I find crucial in classrooms. So what a writing workshop is, basically, the teacher does a mini lesson. It's pretty short, it's not wordy, straight to the point. It'll last about 10 to 15 minutes. The lessons typically are about the writing process, editing, and what good quality writing looks like. So that's some goals for us to work on: quality, editing, and just the writing process. So that'll be the short part of the lesson, just a mini little lesson for your students. Then comes the writing part. It depends on how long our class time is for writing. It really does depend on that, but I would like to give them around 30 minutes to write. It could be really about anything. The students will be working on planning, drafting, reading, revising, proofreading, and talking with their peers during this time. Collaboration is very important to me in my classroom, and I will make sure that students are collaborating with one another. This works on a lot of skills for them when they are working one-on-one with someone else. Even with a group, they're bouncing ideas back and forth, and they're learning to listen as well as speak. So that is also another element of the writing workshop. Next is conferencing. So as the students are writing, I will be walking around for a while, just looking at the students' work, and then I'll be conferencing one-on-one with each of your students, just talking about their writing, listening to their ideas, how I can help them, how I can give them more ideas, all that good stuff. So, and then they're going to be sharing. Your student will not be forced to share with the class if they don't want to. They're more than welcome to, though. I think this is really cool just so students can talk about what they're writing. Some people are very passionate about what they're writing, so I think it's, if they want to share, they are more than welcome to. So it just also gives them very good practice for giving and getting feedback from their peers, which is good because it's going to be important for students to be able to handle critiques as well as give them in a nice manner that doesn't come across as mean or rude. So that was the last part of the writing workshop, sorry. The next part is text types that are going to be taught to your students. So we have informational. Informational is it's informative, so it's informing the reader. So when students are writing informative pieces, they are trying to inform the reader of something. It could be how to stay warm in the winter, or how to make a campfire, or really anything that is informing the reader. I picked how to stay warm in the winter just because it's starting to get cold out. It snowed last week, so I think it's interesting to, you know, just have the students give tips like, hey, wear a hat in the winter, wear gloves, wear a coat, how they stay warm. And then how to create a campfire was just another fun one that I thought of. They could, you know, say you need to grab the sticks and all that good stuff. So really informational text can be really about anything, and the students can write about anything that isn't going to inform the reader of something. There's also narrative writing. I really like narrative writing. This could be about a true story. A lot of narratives include characters, dialogue, and descriptive words. Their stories need to include a beginning, middle, and end. So I really like to do graphic organizers with this so the students can get their thoughts wrote down, like the beginning, middle, and end, so that it makes more sense for them. So that's narrative. And then we have opinion writing, also one of my favorites. I have the coolest graphic organizer. It's like an Oreo, and very cool. So students are trying to persuade the reader of something with their opinion pieces normally. So examples could be, which season is the best? Your student would say, well, I think that winter is the best because my birthday's in winter, or I think summer's the best because we can go swimming outside. And then they're just going to describe why they think summer or winter, or whatever season is the best. They could also describe or write about their favorite sports team, or the best sports team, the best kind of cookie, or anything that is trying to persuade the reader. There is also aspects of language arts. So we have reading, which is communicating through text. Students will use their library books and the directions on their papers. We have writing. This is what students write down each day. This could be, some students write in planners, others don't, but if your student writes in planners, it could be their writing in a journal, writing their name, writing the date, all of that good stuff is what they're writing. And it's basically how students are writing every day. Also, there's listening in the aspects of language arts. Students are listening every single day, whether we think it or not. They are listening to directions, instructions, informational videos. They're listening to their friends talk. They're listening to the teacher. All of those things are how your student listens every day. They also view every day. The information that we take in is when we're looking at things. Students can view slideshows, like what I'm giving you guys right now. They can view computers, show and tell, which is fun, and we'll be incorporating in our class this year, and all of that good stuff. So that is the aspects of language arts. Oh, I forgot speaking. Speaking is when the students are talking to others. Some students talk to themselves, so I included that in there. It's okay. This could be having a conversation with a friend or asking a teacher for help. It could be anywhere along those lines, just talking, speaking. We also have visual representation. I'm sorry, I forgot more than one. This is the students' nonverbal gestures. This can be body language or facial expressions. Body language is like if I'm sitting like this talking, you guys might think that I'm mad, or my face might be like this, so you guys might think I'm confused or mad or whatever. So that's visual representation. Okay, so I can move this. So challenge of English language learners. This is a struggle in classrooms, but it's nothing that we can't handle. Some of the challenges that English language learners face are, some of them may have less vocabulary knowledge. They might have a difficult time spelling. Um, Homonyms and homographs are typically difficult, meaning and use of idioms, and then sentence structure. So those are just some of the challenges they face, but next we have maybe, oh, whoops, okay. So next we have how we can help ELL students. So how to help ELLs, English language learners. Give explicit instruction and scaffolding. This is so, so important. Explicit instruction, giving the instructions over again, helping the student to the best of their ability, giving them a story template, that's also really helpful. Excuse me, and mimic writing. So the teacher writes and the student copies it down. This is something that I think could help students. So if I were to write something on the whiteboard, I might have them write it down after me just to process it and get all of that stuff. Next in our classroom is writing, handwriting. In third grade, students are learning cursive. So they will be learning how to write in cursive. They're going to learn how to form their letters and how form is important. Students will be learning not to pick up their pencils while writing. So when we have an I, we wait till the end of the word or the end of the sentence to dot our I or a T, cross our T. We really just wait for that so that they're not picking up their pencil and they don't lose their form. When this doesn't really go under handwriting, but keyboarding, this is when students are using the home row. So my students will be going to keyboarding class, and it's going to be important to put, I don't know if you can see, but put their fingers on the home row so that they can always go back to the home row. Next, we have encouraging writing at school. So we could type a morning message. We could have students write with a pen pal. This is something I think is pretty neat to do for students, just so that they can talk with somebody else, write back and forth. It's kind of fun to get a letter in the mail, and then also have students write in a journal. It doesn't have to be like Dear Diary. It could just be like, you know, today was a good day. I got an A+ on my spelling test and worked really hard to get that. So I'm very proud of myself. Just any of that information. This is how you guys can encourage your students at home to write. One of my personal favorites is having them write a shopping list. This is so fun for students. They get to write out what you're going to pick out from the grocery store, and it's good practice for them. So why not have your student create your own shopping list? Students can create a separate menu, another one of my favorites. Just having them write down, like, we're having spaghetti and noodles, or spaghetti and meatballs, like spaghetti and meatballs, not spaghetti and meatballs, or we're having a side of green beans and a side of Texas toast. Just that stuff is getting them writing, and even though it's not seeming like a lot, it will add up in the end and help your student. So it's going to be very beneficial to encourage your student to write at home. So also have students write about what they did today. They can write to the parent, they can write to a grandparent. If they just wanted to write in their journal, any of those things are great. And then type out a checklist of things to do that day. So this is helping your student practice typing instead of writing, but it's still important for students to be able to type, so they could either, they could type out a checklist of things to do that day, which is pretty neat and important for students. So this, let me get out of here. This is all I have for you guys. I'm so excited to have your students or your children in my class as my students, and I look forward to getting to know you guys through Class Dojo, getting to talk to you, and just keeping in contact. And let me know if you have any concerns for your students or if they're needing any extra help. Let me know. Thanks.